So again, that's the first thing we want to do is, before we even enter a trade, is find out which direction price is going in overall. We can see overall structure, prices in the uptrend, prices overall is in the uptrend. So we see price overall still in the uptrend. We're still heading up, go back to the daily. Um, overall price is still in the uptrend. You know, Candlesticks are still above this trend line. Even though we see a shooting star pattern, this is because price went to 1974. This was a yearly high, multi-yearly high, 1974 last week at February 24th, 2022, and price can get back up here. As you know, price can do the same thing that it did in the past. In the past, it can get back up to where it was just last week, February 24th, 2022, and if we get a push above that, obviously we're going into the 2000s. Obviously we're going into 2000. Price was just up here August 20th, 2022. In the beginning of this pandemic of COVID, price was up here 2 years ago in the 2000s, and it can get all the way back up here. And the highest that price was at was 2074. And this was in August 2020 when we seen price get all the way up here. This was beginning of COVID, the beginning of the pandemic. So price definitely can get back up there. So we're just waiting to see what price wants to do. It looks like gold wants to still head up, and bulls are still in control and still are dominating this market. Overall, price was just retesting. It was just retesting before heading back up. Bulls are still in control, and gold is still, still heading up. Still going up. So let's just go back to the 4 hour. We want to look at the 4 hour and the daily to see the overall direction that price is going in. We can see prices in the uptrend. All right, gang. So now that we have the overall direction of price was in the uptrend, I'm looking on the 4 hour and the daily. We're going now to the 1 hour for more structure. You can see more structure on a 1 hour. And we could see price was making what? February 28th, price made a higher high. And then, February 28th, price made a higher low, back to take profit 9. From back to take profit 10, from take profit 9, price made a higher high from 1892 to 1910, and then back to 1902 before making a higher high March 1st, 2022, all the way back up to 1925. And this is why we want to look on the overall, the 4 hour and daily, and you could see we were in an uptrend. Price was just making a higher low during 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock when I thought price was heading back down from 1925 to 1912. And we thought price was going to take profit 10. And sometimes you can look on the 1 hour and the 4 hour, and you have to zoom out on the 1 hour and the 4 hour. Sometimes you can get stuck looking at the 1 hour and the 15, and you're thinking, okay, price is going down. Overall, after seeing, price head back down, but really overall, as I showed you, price is in an uptrend. Overall price was in an uptrend. It's not in a downtrend, it's in an uptrend. So we have to be mindful of that. You have to be mindful of that. You have to look at the overall direction of what price is showing us first before we actually enter this market. So that's extremely important. I hope I went over that clearly. With market structure, price is making higher highs and higher lows and higher highs and higher lows, and then made a higher high back up to take profit 12, 1941. And it looks like it wants to go to take profit 13, 1945. And we'll see, as it's 3:10 p.m. and the market closes at 5. We might see price head back down and take profit 12, 1930. So sometimes when you're trading, you have to look at the overall direction, the 4 hour and the daily, to really see what's going on overall, like what's the overall direction. As sometimes that can you're not looking at the 1 hour and looking at the 15 can lead to, you getting in the wrong direction and price going against you. And that can happen, sometimes, you get on the wrong side of the trade and that happens, and sometimes you lose. And to prevent that, you just want to look on a 4 hour and the daily, and you really want to look and determine what price is doing. And you can see we seen price, overall on the daily was in the uptrend, on the daily. So in the 4 hours, so we have to analyze the market first and see what price is looking, what price is showing us before we enter a trade, and that will help us a lot. That will help us a lot. Of course, we have our take profit levels too. That helps us a lot too, as just looking at price. Just looking at price on the 1 hour, and if we took all the drawings off, let's actually go back to this chart. If we took all the drawings off and remove drawings, it can be kind of hard. Obviously right now it's kind of easy to see price was making higher highs and higher lows and higher highs, higher lows and higher highs, but it could still be kind of confusing us determining what direction price is going in. um, that's why we have our take profit levels on here, to help us, our psychological levels on here to help us to see what price is doing. We see a hammer pattern at take profit 11. We've seen buyers push price back up and create a hammer pattern. Let us know we see a hammer pattern. Let us know that buyers are wants to push price back up, and it does. Push price back up. This is why we have our take profit levels on here, our psychological levels on here, and we draw our trend line, boom, draw a trend line from take profit 9, boom, all the way up here. And you can see, we can see right here, we draw our trend line, boom. As we draw our trend line, just remove this real fast. Um, cool. We draw our trend line, you can see prices in the uptrend. This is why we draw our trend line. We have our take profit levels on here. Also looking at the overall direction of the trend on the 4 hour and the daily to help us determine what price is doing. As just looking, you know, without it sometimes can be kind of hard to determine what price is doing. That's why we have our trend lines and our take profit levels on here to help us determine what price is doing. So we want to put it all together. Our trend line let us know that price is heading up. We see we see prices heading up. Trend line candlesticks are above this trend line. So that also helps us determine what price is doing, and we can see prices heading up and up and up. And we draw our trend line. So prices continuing up. The 1945 take profit 13, and then we can see price heading up to 1965. Gold is still heading up; it's still continuing up. But we want to draw our trend line. We want to use everything. Market structure, higher highs and higher lows, and higher highs and higher lows and higher highs. You want to use everything again to help us determine what price is doing. So we see price rising up, and we see price is going up. So just keep that in mind. You make sure you have your psychological levels drawn on here, your take profit levels on here. Make sure you have your trend lines on here to help you determine what price is doing overall. Obviously, you would have got in for an entry. You could have got in for an entry right here, and you could have rolled this. You could have entered a trade. Say you want to enter a trade right here. You could have entered for a trade right here. Well, once price made a higher low, you could have entered for a trade, obviously at 1911, and you could have rolled this all the way up to 1941, and you would have been in profit the whole time. Depending on your lot size, could have been a couple hundred, couple thousand. As you know, entry, we're still going with entries, and you want to wait for price to make a higher low, and then you can get in and ride this all the way up to 1941. So I hope that helps. Once price gets up to 1941, take profit, you know, and gang. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind when you're trading. Make sure you have your trend lines. Wait for price to make a higher low. Once price makes a higher low, you can get in for an entry as you make the